Hey guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing my July wrap up. Now I was really shocked about the amount of things that I read during that month. So let's start off with the two things that I DNF'd that month. First one being World War Z by Max Brooks. Yes, I know that this is a classic zombie story. It's about different people all across the world retelling the events and stories and their experiences with the zombie war. The story was really good, the way it's written is fantastic, but the reason why I DNF'd it is because there were no central characters or reoccurring characters that I could anchor to and be interested in. Even if it focused on different characters all across the world that were reoccurring throughout the book and maybe came together at the end, maybe I would have liked it better if they did that or Max did that. But because it didn't have any characters or main characters in it or reoccurring characters or whatever, I just couldn't really, find anything to hook me with this novel and keep me reading. But yeah, it just wasn't my thing. And I think I will just give this one away and just say that I couldn't really get into World War Z. So that's unfortunate. The second thing that I DNF'd, and this is something I regrettably DNF'd, and that I didn't want to DNF, but the reason why I DNF'd it is because during the month of August is the event that I host, which is, or not host, which I do rather, and that is called Subscriber Month. In the month of August, I only read what's recommended and suggested to me by my subscribers. So as time was going on and time was shortening, I just didn't have enough time to read this before August, so it regrettably was DNF'd. And that was The Watchers by A.M. Shine. This is a really good book that I really enjoyed, the little bit that I read. And I am planning to get back to this one. I will try to make this one a priority for September. If not, definitely in October. But I will be getting back to The Watchers. This was really good. So let's get to the things that I actually read in July. All these things will have videos for them apart from one book, which I will tell you when I get to it. I will have the pictures of the thumbnails for them videos up here somewhere, and a link will be down below in case you want to check out a specific video on a specific book. So let's just start off with the Grim Fairy Tales that I read, and this is the collection that I read them from. And this is my Grim Tuesday series. The first one being The White Snake, which is about a man, or a king rather, that eats a deceased white snake that gives him the ability to talk to animals. And I'm pretty sure his servant takes this white snake and eats it and gains his powers or something like that. So I rated it a 2.5 stars out of 5. The next one was The Riddle. Can't remember much about this. I believe it's obviously about a princess that wants to get a husband but gives them the task of thinking up a riddle, and if she can't solve it, they have to get married. Again, I rated it a 2.5 stars out of 5. The next one was The Mouse, the Bird and the Sausage. This was about a bird, a mouse and a sausage. Yes, a sentient sausage living together, and each of them had a designated position and role within the kitchen when it came to cooking and preparing meals. But when their roles are changed, bad things happen to them. So I rated it a 2.5 stars out of 5. Next I read was The Three Snake Leaves, and this was really good. This is about a man who finds these strange leaves that were brought to him by some snakes, and these leaves have the ability to cure wounds and even bring people back from the dead. This is probably the closest thing that the brothers have actually achieved to epic fantasy, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good, so I had to give it full marks, 5 out of 5. And the last grim tale that I read last month in July was Clever Alice. Thank God this is the last time I ever have to talk about this tale ever again. This was a very frustrating tale, and you can watch my rant video if you want, or my mini rant video, where Alice is supposed to be really smart and clever, but she's very stupid, very naive, very whimsical. The story doesn't really make sense, but yeah. As I said, I don't have to talk about it ever again. So that is all the Grimm fairy tales that I read during July. As I said, they will be linked down below, and please feel free to check out my Grimm Tuesdays playlist, as it has all the tales there, well, that I've read anyway. So the first novel that I read was The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. This I did as a vlog, as a reading vlog, where I read the whole thing in a cemetery. Yes, every single word, whether it was from the actual story, any intros, any acknowledgements, anything. Anything and everything in that book I read on the grounds of a cemetery. And it's about a young boy who finds that his parents have been murdered when he was a baby, and he escaped. Miraculously, he escaped, and he made his way into a cemetery where the ghosts and the residents of that cemetery embraced him as one of their own, and he was brought up in the cemetery, and that's all he's ever known. That's as far as I want to really go with it. I went in depth with it enough in my vlog, so please check it out. It may have minor spoilers in it, but I was aware about steering clear away from major spoilers. But it was extremely fun, and even in September I will be doing another graveyard vlog thing, because I need to read the graphic novel of this story, so I will be doing another vlog with that in the cemetery. So I rated The Graveyard Book a 5 stars out of 5. It was incredibly enjoyable to read and get through. Next thing that I read, which was a massive surprise, was Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This is a graphic novel, and I found this really cheap in a second-hand shop, and it was a massive surprise. And that's just the artwork there. Just show you. I mean, it's basic, but it's okay. It gives you enough information to go through and actually get. It's not extremely, it's not very detailed or artistic, but again, the art isn't supposed to be the focal point of this. It's supposed to be the story and what these characters went through. I believe that this is obviously a non-fiction book, but I believe that this is the retelling of Art and his parents when they went through the Holocaust, because they were Jews living in Poland. It's a map of Poland on the back, that's why it's reminded me. And there were Jews living in Poland while the war was going on. Can't remember if it's the First or Second War. And how the Nazis did all these terrible things to them. They were basically like spoiled children that had all these rich parents, and their parents never said no to them, so they could basically do whatever the hell that they wanted to do. All the Jews are portrayed as mice, and the Nazis are portrayed as cats. I was tempted to DNF this, because I'm not really into historical fiction or historical novels, but I knew that this was an important book. And surprisingly, just a little fun fact as well, guys, that when I was reading this on the train going to work, I said this in my video on why is graphic novels not considered reading, and maybe mangas as well, I'm not sure. I'll put the thumbnail up here if I can remember. And when I was reading this, I could sense from people around me, why are you reading this? Why are you reading a graphic novel? It's got pictures on it. Why can't you read something a bit more grown up? It's like, dude, it's about the Holocaust. This is horrific about what these people went through. But I continued through it because of the relationship between the father and the son, who is retelling the war to his son. I would highly recommend this, even if you aren't into history or historical fiction. I would highly recommend this because This will make you think, and it will bring uncomfortable things to your mind and make you aware of these uncomfortable things. So, highly recommend this. I really highly recommend this. It exactly wasn't my cup of tea, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm going to pass this on and hopefully someone else can enjoy it. But I rated it a 3 stars out of 5. Next is the Howling by Gary Brander. This is a werewolf story, and the movie is based on this book. As far as I can remember, this was published in 77 when the movie was released in 81 or 83, I'm not sure. But this is absolutely fantastic. Yes, it's a predictable werewolf story, but it's extremely fun to go through. It's about this couple that go and live in this rural, out of the way town after the wife has been sexually assaulted. Yes, this does include rape, and that's the whole reason why they go to this town, to try to escape that and for like therapy, I suppose. But they find that there is this werewolf or wolves. I won't tell you how many there is, but one, at least in this town. And yeah, it's extremely bloody and gory, and I loved it. There is 2 more books in the trilogy thing, so I will be getting onto them as soon as I can. Not sure if I'll be holding on to this one. I think I might do for the time being, but yeah, I enjoyed The Howling. Haven't seen the movie, probably see the first one and leave it at that because I've heard the sequels are rubbish. But I rated The Howling a 4 stars out of 5. Next thing that I read, and this one I haven't done a video for. I am planning to do a video for this in the next few days. I've got a few days off next week, so I will have time to make my video for this. But that is the second Skullduggery book, which is called Playing with Fire. This is a direct sequel to the first one, which is simply called Skullduggery. I have done a video on this, which I will put up here. This retells the story of Stephanie, or Valkyrie, who is training with Skullduggery, who is a living dead skeleton wizard detective. Think about Dresden Files, but Dresden dead. And it introduces a new villain, which was a follower of the original big bad that was in this world. And there's these artifacts that this individual wants to get so they can ultimately bring back these dark gods called the Faceless Ones. That sound very, very nice and very fun. So yeah, it's about Valkyrie and Skullduggery rescuing the world, defeating the bad guys, and all that jazz. It was extremely fun, extremely easy and quick to read this. I loved this book so much. So I rated it a 5 stars out of 5. Does it deserve 4 marks? Probably not, but I'm giving it 4 marks anyway because this was extremely enjoyable to read, and I cannot wait to continue reading all these books. And the last thing that I read was The Hobbit by, obviously, J.R.R. Tolkien. Don't really have to say much about this. Everyone knows what this book is about. Even if you haven't read it, you know what this story is all about. I got this copy in a giveaway that an Erudite Adventure was doing on their channel. They were giving this and a copy of Little Women away. Haven't read Little Women yet. I am going to make it a priority for September. But I have recorded my video for this and it's all ready to go, it's all ready to roll, and it'll probably come out after this video. But I really enjoyed it. This was a reread for me. I've reread this at least 3, maybe 4 times, and I love it so much. I'm planning to read all of the Middle-earth books, starting obviously with The Hobbit, going through the Lord of the Rings, the Silmarillion and Unfinished Tales. It will be a massive achievement. I will probably reread the Lord of the Rings because I've read the trilogy once before. So I will have probably finished the Lord of the Rings and maybe the Silmarillion this year. But I cannot wait to go through this whole world again. But I rated this a 5 stars out of 5. And I just want to say here, thank you so much in Erudite Adventure if you're watching this. Thank you so much for sending me these copies, and yeah, I will treasure them and they will be in my collection forever. So thank you so much. So that is everything that I read in July. It was quite a lot, and yeah, it was quite a trip. It really was. There were a few things obviously that I wish I could have read, a buddy read that I wish I could have done, but never really fell through, or came through rather, or whatever you want to refer to it as. But let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know what you thought of them. If you have any questions about any of them, comment down below. If you've read any of them and you want to discuss them with me and geek out about them, we can do that down below as well. That sounded quite naughty, didn't it? But yeah, I think I better stop here because this video has been going on for way too long now, and you guys have probably got better stuff that you've got to do rather than listening and watching a ruggedly handsome British guy. So yeah, I will let you guys go and I will see you in the next one. Bye.